Today I am before you with the ancient Greek heart-touching love story. We all know the word echo. We use this word particularly for a repeating voice. If a voice is repeating for a number of times, we call it as an echo. But actually, this echo is not just a word. This echo is a name of a girl. The girl belongs to the country Greek. Now I am going to tell you all how this word echo got the name of the girl. Let's start the video without any delay. Many years ago in a Greek country, there lived gods and goddesses on the earth. And these god and goddesses were served by many maidens. And there was a one maiden, her name was Echo. Every evening, this Echo was narrating interesting stories to the gods and goddesses. The god name was Zeus and the goddess name was Hera. Once, Zeus came to the mountains and all the maidens surrounded him and embraced him with a joy, and they were all playing with the god Zeus. Here, the Zeus' wife, goddess Hera, was very jealous by this incident, and she often searched the mountainsides and trying to catch her husband with the maidens. Whenever Hera came closer to finding Zeus, charming maiden Echo stopped the goddess Hera by chanting with her some things. The words of Echo diverted the mind of Hera from finding her husband. Eventually, Hera discovered that Echo had been tricking her, and she got very angry and cursed her. "Your voice will be more brief. You will always have the last word, but never the first." Since then, Echo started to echo. Means, if Echo heard anybody's voice, she started to repeat the last word of theirs. But she was never be able to tell the first word. She was very sad by this incident, and everybody in the village were making fun of her and laughing at her. So once Echo sat in a sorrowness and she was simply walking on the floor. There she found a charming golden-haired man. His name was Narcissus. All who looked at Narcissus fell in love with him. He was that beautiful youth. When Echo first laid her eyes upon Narcissus, her heart burned like the flame of a torch. She secretly followed him through the woods, loving him more with each step. She got closer and closer until finally Narcissus heard the leaves rustling. He whispered around and shouted out, "Who's here?" From behind a tree, Echo repeated his last word, "Here, here, here." Narcissus looked about in a wonder and said, "Who are you?" "Came to me," he said. Narcissus searched the woods but couldn't find anyone there. "Stop hiding. Let us meet," he said. Echo again repeated his last word, "Let us meet, let us meet, let us meet." Then she stepped from behind the tree and rushed to embrace the Narcissus. But the young panicked when the maiden flung her arms around his neck. He pushed her away and shouted, "Leave me alone. I would rather die than you love me." She again started to tell his last word, "Love me, love me, love me," was all poor Echo could say. As she watched Narcissus, she ran away through the woods. by saying the words, love me, and love me. As Narcissus was very angered by her words, he gone so far away from the forest. Humiliated and filled with sorrow, Echo wandered in the mountains until she found a lonely cave to live in. Meanwhile, Narcissus found a pool which had a silvery smooth surface. No shepherds ever disturbed its water, no goats or cattle, no birds or fallen leaves, only the sun danced upon the pond. Tired from the hunting and eager to quench his thirst, Narcissus came near the pond and lay on his stomach and leaned over the water. But when he looked at the glassy surface, he saw someone staring back at him from the pool. He had twin brightening eyes, golden hairs, and cheeks as smooth as ivory. But when he leaned down to touch that person, he touched the water. When he leaned down to embrace that person, he embraced only the water. There was no one apart from the water. Then Narcissus realized the truth. That was nothing but his own reflection. By this incident, we can know that Narcissus never seen his reflection before. Narcissus never seen his own image before. Because when Narcissus was born, he was very handsome, and a fortune teller he came near his cottage, and the fortune teller told to the parents of Narcissus, don't allow your son to look his own face. When he sees his own face, that causes a death for him. So Narcissus' parents never allowed him to see his own image. So Narcissus never seen his own face, and he never knew how handsome he was. Right the time when Narcissus seen his own reflection, he fell in love with his own reflection. And he wanted to see with that person, and he wanted to talk more with that person, but he couldn't. He wept and was shouting to that reflection, come back, I want to talk to you. But that reflection was not talking. At that time, Narcissus started to weep and weep. His tears fell inside the pond, and it disturbed the pond. From there, the Narcissus couldn't see his reflection. He wanted to see his reflection more, and he shouted it to come back, just I want to see you for a longer. But his reflection didn't come back, because he was continuously weeping and his continuously tears were falling inside the pond. Narcissus was very sad by this incident, and he finally said to the pond that, okay, don't come back, stay there. I'm going to die now. I'm going to take my last breath, because I didn't find my love of my life. By saying these words, Narcissus jumped into the pond and died. After his death, the water maidens, wood maidens searched for his body, but they all found was a magnificent, beautiful flower. And this poor Echo, who was in love with Narcissus, she got to know about this story from the animals and the birds in the forest. She started to search his dead body, but she couldn't get any dead body. Instead of that, she found beautiful flowers near the pond where Narcissus was sitting. After the Narcissus' death, poor Echo didn't even eat and sleep. As she lay for a longer in her cave, all her beauty faded away and she taken her last breath. But still, her soul is in search of Narcissus in that forest of a Greek. Till now, if anyone goes to that forest and speaks something else, Echo repeats the lost word of that person. This is not just a story, this is a true story. And because of that, the name of a girl, Echo, we have derived the name Echo for repeating words. If you really like this story, please do like, share and comment. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Keep supporting to us.